Good morning. It's March 1st and we out walking and talking, and there's still cars using these streets like they streets, and there's still a little dog who's the bad weather. A little bit. I didn't hear no 70. It was supposed to be 60 or 70 degree winds.
It felt like it might have been. It felt bad, and it was raining and storming, and Bella came in there by me in the bed, in the bedroom, and I patted her and stuff.
Aww.
She was scared.
She came upstairs. I guess she went down to you after that, or maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe she came to check on me after you patted her.
Make sure you were okay.
Yeah.
But they had tornadoes in certain states. We didn't have many here, but they did.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be 51 degrees out today, but today it feels colder to me than it did yesterday when it was supposed to be 40 something, 41 degrees or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that rain cold. Miss Ivy says the sun makes all the difference. So there were a few things on my mind with walk and talk today. I guess one was just this, and you may not have any comment, but you know, I grew up hearing that for a black person, a woman, you gotta do 2-3 times as much to get half, a third of the recognition. I done added the 3 stuff in there. But and I just saw quickly on my Twitter feed that the person who gave a speech last night was getting a lot of, accolades and appreciation, and he's normalized now, just for acting halfway normal. Instead of being the Twitter fool, he can read a teleprompter, and so now it's a big celebration, and he's, the greatest, and he says a couple things that seem relatively reasonable, and now, all is forgiven, all is forgotten. And then someone else had transposed it with the Nate Parker, who made the film Birth of a Nation, how he got so much grief around the rape accusations, and then there was
acquitted for,
which he was acquitted for, and then apparently, I don't really follow this, but there was another star person, white guy,
Casey Affleck,
who, it didn't get no grief, or hardly any grief. It don't follow him. So that was just on my mind. I don't know if you had any commentary about that.
Well, it's always that way.
It's always that way.
It's just like if Obama had done 1/20th of the things, or said 1/20th of the things that Trump has already done and said, he would have been facing impeachment.
Yeah. Okay. Oops. Got a little traffic jam here.
So it's definitely a double standard.
Yeah. So that was just kind of on my mind. And then I guess the other thing we were talking about earlier, how these obituaries ain't truthful. These bits ain't truthful. And kind of dealing with death over the last, I guess, month. I've had 5 deaths, family or friends. So we have a funeral tomorrow, and then for my uncle, there's a dinner on Saturday. So that's kind of on my mind and on my heart, and I guess especially in light of still waiting for these DNA results. And as we started to log on the Ancestry DNA and input family history, certain leafs showed up, which are indications that there might be some information about your family. But how you have to corroborate information because maybe somebody in their obituary just left some information out because it didn't fit,
Or the census taker couldn't spell your name, or the census taker thought you looked white when you didn't, or whatever.
Right. So, or your family, sometimes the stories they tell you, I don't know. They may not be true. I'm just saying.
Yep, sometimes names get changed.
To protect the innocent or the guilty.
Right.
So I don't know if you had anything else to say about that.
No, I think I'm good.
And then the last thing that I was thinking about is this apparently in Detroit. Oops, sorry. Dang, I done switched this dog and now she done switched around. We have a boil water advisory. We had the water was out in the house yesterday, off and on. You know, you don't use it constantly, so I don't know how much it was off. But a few times I tried to use it and it was sputtering or stuttering or non-existent. So it was neighborhood-wide and I guess city-wide, because we had some boil water advisory. But I feel like
For all of Hamtramck, for all of Highland Park, for 6 Mile, I think over to Connors or something that far east. And I've forgotten what the west border is, but we were definitely in it.
yeah. But I feel like by the time they telling you to boil water, you know, it's probably, you know, been some issues. Because I try to use filtered water for cooking and drinking. Anyway, hopefully the filter is doing something.
Right. Do you have to boil the filtered water or what? What does that mean?
I'm going to boil the filtered water. That's why I wanted to talk about it, to lock that in my brain. Yeah. So those were things on my mind today. Anything?
No.
How'd you sleep last night? Did you see anything interesting on Roland Martin's show this morning? Did you see it?
I saw Roland Martin. He had Omarosa on in a simulcast with Tom Joyner.
Okay.
And apparently there's an executive order that's been signed for HBCUs that Omarosa is touting as the greatest thing since sliced bread. But no one has read it yet, so.
Oh, I saw a headline last night that said that the executive order praises black colleges but don't give no money. So
Right.
I don't know how they said that without reading it. How come ain't nobody read it? How they making statements and they ain't read it?
That's what Omarosa is saying. That was her point, that it hadn't been released yet. But everything else has been leaked, so that could have been, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, our good friend Omarosa. God bless her. God bless us all. Anything else interesting happen on Roland, or anything interesting happen? Anything surprising?
But then he spent the rest of the time talking about Trump's speech to Congress, basically,
Oh.
and how he says one thing, does the exact opposite. While he's praising HBCUs, Jeff Sessions is saying we're going to pull back on all this enforcement and consent decrees and stuff. So,
I'm so shocked
Right.
that they would say one thing and do another. It's totally incredible. Yeah. So no news. Ooh, it's slippery. Yeah, mud. Come on, Miss Thing. Got to fight with this little dog. She think because she weigh 15, 20 pounds now instead of 10 or 12 that I'm going to fight with her. All right, anything else?
that's it.
That's it. All right. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You.
Baby.
I'm too fabulous, baby. Like, subscribe, and share. Mwah.